The NexDock 2 lapdock was reviewed in Phone Show 385 and I was generally impressed. I was let down a little by the screen bezels and the appallingly quiet speakers. The NexDock Touch here manages to fix both of these, then also adds a full capacitive touchscreen and a bigger internal battery. Mainly compatible with the Galaxy DeX-enabled devices from Samsung. This is the S9 Plus, my beloved. This is the brand new S20 FE. This is not only a touchscreen lapdock, it's also a USB hub, a power bank too. And if you have a Raspberry Pi, then it's the accessory to hook up to. But this is the Phone Show and the Pi is not a phone, so I'm going to stick to smartphones. The lapdock concept is that there's just one OS, one file system, one set of applications, one data store to worry about. It's your smartphone, fully authenticated, just expanded to a larger form factor. Not having to worry about malware or vulnerabilities or phishing emails or Windows updates or possible ransomware. I know we're all stuck at home in COVID-19 days now, but hopefully this will change soon. We'll be mobile. A surprising amount of stuff can be triaged on the smartphone these days with better touch-friendly mobile applications, but hands up if you ever wanted to reply to an email or get a few hundred words down in a document, and it's more than you can face on a 6-inch phone screen, with half of that taken up by a software keyboard. Hands up if you've ever needed to fiddle with numbers in Excel on the move and be utterly frustrated because the screen wasn't larger. Hands up if you ever wanted to read a USB memory stick while mobile and realised you needed a hub or a dock or an adapter. Hands up if you ever needed to read things off a micro SD card and your phone either doesn't have a card slot or one that's also being used for existing content. In terms of price, the NexDock Touch spans the gap between a posh Bluetooth keyboard and a full-on Windows 10 laptop. The main competitor is probably a Chromebook with similar remit. I'd say if you've got a compatible Samsung or Huawei phone, then get the NexDock Touch. If not, then you're out of luck anyway. The phone maker needs to have a built-in desktop mode. The NexDock Touch's improvements over the NexDock 2 are a 14.1 diagonal 1080p display up from 13 inches or so smaller bezels here and a more modern look. There's a capacitive touchscreen, of course. In fact, it's the largest touchscreen I've ever used, which is kind of funny. A larger battery here at 60 watt hours up from 51 watt hours. In practice, depending on use case, this might only need charging once a week. And far better speakers. The specs claim all four are still 1 watt, but if so, their positioning is dramatically better, and I draw your attention to the new grills on the underside, allowing the sound to really get out. Here's a demo. The NexDock Touch comes with a short USB 3.1 cable. If you lose this, it's only about a tenner or so on Amazon for an equivalent. If you're interested, and I hope you are, USB 3 upwards uses extra pins in the Type-C connector for its magic. And vanilla Type-C cables, like the long 2-meter one here, supplied for power with the NexDock Touch, they're just wired for ye olde USB 2 and they don't work for DeX. Although I'm showing DeX here, by the way, note that Huawei's Easy Projection also works well, though the Huawei devices have their own limitations in other ways, of course, Google, so I'm not going to show them off here. The keyboard is very good at with decent mid-price laptops. It doesn't feel particularly premium under the fingers in that it's plastic keys on a plastic surface as opposed to all the aluminium on the exterior surfaces, but it's very accurate and it never let me down in terms of getting text entered. Home and end keys work perfectly in all applications on both platforms. Ditto page up and page down and all the media and control keys. There are some special characters, dollars and pounds. This is an American layout, so watch out there. Also at and speech marks can be transposed, depending on how you got things set up. But the NexDock Touch is still a mobile writer's dream, with the benefits of a full laptop screen and keyboard and zero issues with extra file systems, keeping things in sync, OS updates, security, and so on. The NexDock Touch is simply an extension of your smartphone and, well, not something else to manage. The backlit keys are lit fairly evenly and well when you're typing up some notes or catching up on email in a gloomy environment, living rooms, libraries, trains. It's lovely to be able to tap Function F5 and have the whole keyboard light up cheerily. New, obviously, for the NexDock Touch is a full capacitive touchscreen, and this was far more welcome than I'd have guessed. When you need to drag things around in the UI or swipe through content or even tap on items far away from the current position of the DeX trackpad cursor, having a touchscreen is just lovely. The lapdock screen effectively becomes a giant tablet running Android. Plus the trackpad is still pretty good, with clickable regions bottom left and bottom right, with a fixed center and trackpad top hinge. You can also do quick and gentle taps anywhere within the touch sensitive surface to do a left click or double taps as needed by the UI. All standard stuff, and at the price it's good enough. 2-finger swipes now work as you'd expect in the Samsung DeX, whereas it didn't on previous versions of the software, so it's clearly something as addressed in updates. In fact, DeX looks considerably more refined now a year later. There are fewer experimental settings and more mature system tray pop-ups, such as choosing audio output after tapping the volume control icon. Or you can just hook up a bog standard USB mouse to the right-hand side USB-A port. This worked instantly and without prompts, but you have to carry the mouse and its wires, so I say stick with the touchscreen and trackpad. With an up-to-date Chrome browser and apps which run in Windows which can be minimised, maximised and generally resized, DeX feels a lot more now like a proper laptop computer and less like an oversized phone screen. Having said that, not all applications take advantage of the screen real estate, but the situation is getting better with DeX and Play Store app updates. In terms of storage when connected, it's the phone working with its own storage, that's internal plus microSD if applicable, but you can work with more. For starters, the NexDock Touch has its own microSD bay on the right hand side, perhaps as temporary storage for any connected phone. After all, you never know when files may need to be saved or juggled. The NextDock Touch becomes even more of a storage hub with the USB-A port, and this works with any memory sticks I inserted, even a hub. Nextdock has pushed its lapdock concept forward significantly with the Touch here. It's a fabulous piece of accessory hardware and far more versatile than you might think. And the price hasn't jumped up to match either. It's $269 plus shipping, which I think is good value if it's something that fits your workflow on compatible Android smartphones. If the use cases here fired your imagination, the thought of being free of a desktop OS, living on the phone with the NextDock Touch as an extender, a hub and enabler, then this is for you. On the other hand, if you're happy with a lightweight Windows laptop, a MacBook, a Chromebook, even just occasional Bluetooth keyboard use when being a road warrior, then that's also fine. The NextDock Touch here won't save you any space in your briefcase and may even be bigger and heavier. It's all a matter of how you want to work and where your data lives. And that's a decision for you. But this is the NextDock Touch.